Ooh. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, it's a little bit different than the usual. We're not going to be talking about business today. We're going to be talking about mental health. And this is an issue that I've struggled with in the past, and I struggle with it here and there. And I'm very sure that there's a lot of people that experience the same problem, the same struggle. And as you can see by the title of the video, it's feeling that you haven't really accomplished anything. You feel like you've lived so many years of life and you feel like you didn't really contribute as much as you wanted to, or as much as you would like, or you feel that you haven't accomplished anything, or you feel that you're not where you want to be, that you're a failure, that you're a loser. And no matter how much money you have, no matter how many girls you have, no matter how many friends you have, deep down you still have that feeling. And I just wanted to say that you're not alone. It's not just you that's running into this problem. There's a lot of people that are affected by this, and I'm one of them, of course. I'm pretty sure every human has gone through this, and they will continue to go through it. Now, before I can tell you how we can turn this negative into a positive, I have to dive deeper into that meaning of not feeling accomplished. So, you might be working a job right now, you might be running a business, or you might be unemployed. You might not have a job, you might not be running a business, you might be poor, you might be rich, you might be strong, you might be weak, but you still experience this issue. Why is that? Now, of course, it all relates back to your childhood and the traumas that happened in your childhood. But it's not just that. This is just a very primitive concept that's engraved into our brain, that us as humans, we always strive to do better. We always want to be great. We always have very high ambitions and very crazy goals that we would love to reach. And that's kind of how we're living today. That's kind of how the world became what it is today, the civilization that we live in. Because before, we were just living in tribes, and once we harnessed the energy and the power, that's when we were able to achieve great heights with technology, science, engineering, all of that. So this is something that you can't escape. You will never have the feeling that you have accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish in life. You will never be that satisfied. There's always a level of uncertainty. And the first step is just knowing it and accepting it. Okay, so just understand that this is just a part of who you are. This is just a part of humans. This is just something that everybody goes through. And second, accept it. Just realize that it's okay to feel that way sometimes. And realize that it's fine, that it's not the end of the world, and that you're still alive, that you're still breathing, that you can still see, you can still hear, you can still talk. And if you can't hear, or if you can't see, or if you can't talk, you have a body, you have hands, you can move around. And even if you don't have a body, maybe if you're paralyzed, or if you were born with some sort of deformity where you're missing a limb or something like that, at least you're breathing, at least you're alive. And try to look on the positive side of things, and try to be optimistic, although I know how hard that could be, especially when you're at that point where you feel that there's just something that needs to be done, so you can kind of fulfill that feeling, that void inside of you that's telling you you haven't accomplished anything, you haven't reached a point where you said you would be at. Like when I was a kid, I would look at my 20s. As a kid, I would look at my 20s and I would just imagine myself and say, wow, I can imagine how I'm doing at 20 to 25 year olds. I'm gonna be living in a mansion, I'm gonna be driving fast cars, I'm gonna be, all that stuff. And a reason for that is also setting unrealistic goals. So don't get me wrong, it's not bad to be ambitious. It's a very good trait. Like I said, that's how we got here today, is by setting those crazy ambitious goals and achieving them. But at times, you can't expect too much from yourself. We're only human. You can't expect yourself to be the top 1%. You can't expect yourself to be a millionaire by the age of 20, 25, 30, 40. You can't expect yourself to be balling and driving fast cars and by the age of 25, 30, 40, all that. It's okay to be not rich. That's totally okay. It's okay to be not successful. I'm air quoting it because success is really just what you define it to be. If your definition of success is owning a 1998 Honda Civic, then you're successful. You see what I mean? Success is just what you imagine it to be. And if your idea of success is just so far-fetched and it's based off of materialistic things, you're always going to have that void. Okay, now don't mind the mustache, by the way. I was just bored and experimenting. But how can we turn this negativity, this negative energy, into fuel? How can we use that as fuel to project us even further and kind of expedite our journey a little bit, to maybe get a little bit of that sense of achievement and accomplishment on our journey? What I recommend is using that energy. First of all, dive deep into it. Find out where it's coming from. Look back on your childhood. Look back on your experiences and find out why it is you're feeling that way, because it's different for everybody. So find out exactly why you're feeling that way, and from there you can use that energy to plan ahead. You can use that energy to learn a new skill. You can use that energy to maybe even relax, like go out on a walk, reflect upon it, think about it, and then plan ahead. For me, personally, whenever I feel that way, there's always that sense, like, so there's two voices, right? There's a voice saying you're not great, you haven't accomplished anything, you're a loser, you're a failure, what are you doing, you're supposed to have it figured out. And then there's another voice in my head that's saying, hey, it's okay, you're not supposed to have this figured out, you're not supposed to be the richest human in the world, you're not supposed to be living in a mansion, right? it's almost a sense of entitlement right here. And then this one kind of balances me out, and it says, although you might not reach that big crazy goal, although you might not be able to buy your mom a mansion, although you might not be able to buy yourself a Lamborghini, what can we do to make the journey more enjoyable and fulfilling? That way, even if you don't reach the goal, Even if you don't buy the mansion, if you don't buy the Lamborghini, right, and also don't base it on real materialistic things. Even if you don't reach those heights, how can we make the journey fun? That way, even if you don't achieve them, you still had a good time. You still enjoyed the process. You still enjoyed the journey. And that's where you plan out every single day. You plan out every single week, every single month, and you include things in there that you enjoy doing. So you have to balance it with actual practical tasks that are gonna take you to that step. You know, you always want to be working towards that goal, but also don't neglect fun. Don't neglect time for yourself. Don't neglect time for your brain to just relax and just kind of be in silence, right? Just give it some time to relax. You don't want to burn out. You don't really deserve to feel this way, especially at such a young age. It's too much pressure. It's just too much pressure on you. And make the journey fun. That way, even if you don't reach the goal, you can go out saying, hey, at least I had fun getting there. At least I had fun on the way there. And that's pretty much kind of how I deal with it. I just try to find something to do that will help me get to where I want to be. But at the same time, I realize that if I don't get there, it's okay, because I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the process. I don't like quoting too much from Gary Vee because it's very controversial. However, one thing that he always repeats that resonates with me every time I hear it is enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Because it's really all about the journey. It's never about the destination. So that's pretty much everything for today's video. I just wanted to address this topic because I know that a lot of people might be going through this experience at this time, especially during the pandemic. So I hope that you learn from this. I hope that you find whatever it is that makes you feel fulfilled and happy and content. And I hope that you do achieve those crazy goals that you have set for yourself. I really hope that you're able to buy yourself a mansion and your mom a mansion, and buy your dad an expensive car, and achieve those goals that you really would love to be at. But also, just don't forget that it's okay not to. It's okay not to be rich. It's okay not to be driving fast cars. It's totally fine. As long as you're alive and you're breathing and you're doing well, then you're all good. Actually, I'm gonna share an experience with you that happened 2 nights ago. There's a spot near my area. I like to go there by the fountain, sit there. I usually have my journal with me, and I just kind of jot down notes, my thoughts and all that. And during that time, I was kind of reflecting why I'm feeling this way. And I was trying to come to a conclusion, and subhanAllah, I ran into somebody. It was so spontaneous. There was this guy who was around my age. He was 25. His name was Joel. His name was Will, but he likes being called Joel. That's his middle name. And I saw him carrying a lot of bags, and he didn't have shoes. And he was just walking around, and he looked so content, and he looked just happy. He just looked happy. And meanwhile, I'm sitting in my car with the AC on, listening to music while I jot down my thoughts on a journal, and I see him being happy with nothing. And I called out to him because I was just so curious. I called out to him. I said, hey, what are you doing? What's your situation? We had a conversation. Turns out he's homeless. He's 25. He likes to sing. He likes poetry. He likes to rap. He's looking for a job. he's doing a lot of things that uh, keep him happy. And I asked him, I was like you're homeless, you don't have a job, you don't have money. Where is your family? Where do you sleep? All those questions. And at the end, I asked him, how are you happy? You know, and he said, man, just have fun. Because at the end, you know, what are you going to look back on? Are you going to look back on the things that you accomplished? Or are you going to look back at the times where you enjoyed yourself? And it was honestly it wasn't eye-opening because I already knew these things, but it was just so humbling. It felt surreal because I was taking my life for granted, and I didn't realize, well, I did realize, but it really made it clear that there are other people in this world that are living with a lot less, but are a lot more happy than the people who have everything. So that's what I'm going to conclude with. I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that you find this informative, valuable, helpful. If you did, leave a like because it helps me out. Get this video to other people who might be going through the same experience. And if you'd like to stick around, click that subscribe button. We usually talk about business and digital marketing, but I believe I'm going to be doing more videos like this because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are going through the same experience, and I believe it's nice and helpful to kind of share each other's experience so we can all learn and grow together. That's it from me today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.